Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You step outside, and the temperature is negative 30 degrees Celsius. Within minutes, your fingers begin to go numb, your breath freezes in the air, and every step feels heavier. Now, imagine surviving this winter without a house, without warm clothes, or even a place to hide. For ancient humans, this wasn't imagination. This was simply called winter. Around 20,000 years ago, Earth entered one of the coldest periods in human history. Scientists call this period the last glacial maximum. Some regions became colder than negative 40 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze exposed skin within minutes. Yet, somehow, ancient humans survived. They raised children, hunted giant animals, and returned home alive year after year. So, what was the first secret that helped them survive the deadliest winters on Earth?
The first thing trying to kill them wasn't hunger. It was the cold, stealing their body heat. Humans weren't built for winters like this. They had no thick fur, no layer of fat, and no way to hibernate through the cold. On paper, ancient humans should never have survived the Ice Age. But nature made one mistake. It underestimated the human brain. Humans couldn't grow fur, so they learned to create it. Humans couldn't grow bigger claws, so they built better tools. And when their bodies failed, their ideas kept them alive. Their greatest survival tool wasn't a weapon. It was knowledge. And every survival lesson began with one simple discovery: fire.
Everything started with one discovery: fire. Without fire, winter always won. Archaeological evidence suggests humans were already controlling fire at least 300,000 years ago. By the Ice Age, making fire wasn't luck. It was a survival skill. Researchers in Ukraine discovered Ice Age fireplaces that burned hotter than 600 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than many modern kitchen ovens. Fire didn't just keep people warm. It gave them more time to live each day. When wood became scarce, humans found another solution. They burned animal fat and even bones to keep the fire alive. But fire had one problem. You couldn't carry it everywhere.
A campfire could keep you warm, but it couldn't stop the freezing wind. They needed something even more important: shelter. Not every cave was a home. Some already belonged to bears, lions, or hyenas. Sometimes, surviving winter meant fighting for a place to sleep. And when there were no caves, humans built their own shelters. Researchers have discovered mammoth bone houses dating back nearly 20,000 years in Eastern Europe. The walls blocked the wind and trapped precious body heat inside. For the first time, humans weren't just surviving winter.
They were fighting back. But even the strongest shelter couldn't solve one terrifying problem. Because sooner or later, everyone gets hungry.
Winter didn't just freeze the land, it buried the food. For weeks, sometimes months, almost nothing grew. That meant every meal had to come from an animal. But hunting in deep snow was far more dangerous than hunting in summer. Every hunt burned precious energy, even before the chase began. One failed hunt could leave an entire family hungry. So ancient humans learned something surprising. Never waste a single animal. Meat fed the family, but fat kept them alive.
Scientists believe animal fat gave Ice Age people the calories they desperately needed to survive freezing winters. But even food couldn't solve one final problem: keeping everyone alive through the longest nights. The longest nights were often the most dangerous. As the fire faded, the cold quietly returned. So they discovered another source of warmth: each other. Sharing body heat became a powerful survival strategy. Researchers believe close sleeping reduced dangerous heat loss during freezing nights. Even children slept in the safest and warmest place, the center. Survival wasn't about strength. It was about teamwork. No one survived the Ice Age alone. Their greatest weapon wasn't fire or fur. It was each other. Maybe that's the real reason humans survived winter, together. Winter wasn't their greatest enemy. Nature challenged them every single day, but every winter made them smarter. Every mistake became tomorrow's survival lesson. That knowledge was passed from one generation to the next. Without those lessons, humanity might not exist today. The real miracle wasn't surviving one winter. It was surviving thousands of them. That's why you're here today, because somewhere in the Ice Age, your ancestors refused to give up.